we're gonna warm up by doing an 8-point plank and a hammy bridge. So they're gonna look very similar, only flip-flopped. When we're in that hammy, or this would be an 8-point plank, wrists, elbows, knees, and toes are all down. The magic here is rotating that pelvis backwards to engage those lower abs, and then we're gonna push everything into the ground. We always wanna make sure we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, maintaining that tension and that brace here in the lower abs, specifically between your groin and your belly button. So master that breathing, and as that breathing and that core contraction are on, you can start to push your knees and feet and elbows into the ground, and you'll feel all that tension here ramp up. And so what we're trying to do is ramp that tension up to a level 11 and then breathe over top of it. If you find yourself holding your breath, back up off of it, don't push down as hard, re-get that brace, go back to your breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and try to hold for 10 breaths or 30 seconds. Next, we're gonna flip over, and we're gonna be in almost the exact opposite position. My knees are almost gonna be straight. I don't want them out like that, but I don't want them back here in a sit-up position. I want them almost straightened out, about hip width apart. Our pelvic position is gonna be important here too. We don't want it tucked too far back, but we need it neutral. Okay, so right here in the middle, don't let it dump forward. If you feel it in your back, it's dumped forward, and you need to tilt it backwards a little bit. Toes and knees point up. Knees are not together. We're gonna hold up, and I've got clearance here under my butt. I can keep my elbows on the ground, and you're gonna feel your hamstrings and your glutes really light up. If it doesn't light up and it's in your back, remember to posteriorly tuck. So tuck that tailbone towards your heels, okay? If it's too easy, we can always just take one foot off and hold for 15, then switch, hold for 15. You can even alternate by doing these marches. Keep those hips level, and we're gonna hold for about 30 seconds there as well. At that point, we're gonna just come into a squat, and you're gonna rock side to side. We can rock front to back, kind of roll around, keep trying to work on getting that chest up, butt down through your exhale. So entering this for 30 seconds, it's not gonna look like that first second. So it's gonna change as you spend some time in here. And we're just trying to get the hips comfortable, the knees comfortable, the ankles, the feet comfortable with being in that that low squat position. Okay? We're gonna run through that twice, 3 times. If you're feeling kind of stiff or slow in the morning, go ahead and run through it 3 times. Then I'm gonna be on a slant board here. If you don't have a slant board, you can just prop your heels up on a couple plates. Make sure it's firm, so you can just have your heel up like that. That's fine as well. And I'm gonna get 2 kettlebells. These are 25 pounds. You can use whatever weight's challenging for you. But remember, we're gonna be in an elevator, so I wanna drop straight down on this squat and straight up. Straight down, straight up, keeping that chest tall. We don't wanna drop into here. That gives us the visual stimulus that we're going down, but we wanna keep that torso upright and pull ourselves down. As you get down, that weight's gonna wanna roll to the heels, and we're gonna be intentional about keeping our toes down. So we don't want, when we go down, to lift those toes there. Pull ourselves down, keep the weight in the toes. You're gonna feel it a lot in the quads. Only go as far as you can take it. If your knees bother you on this, you can actually come a little bit more off and decrease that angle. So if you're stacked up a little high and they bother your knees, decrease that angle. So if you're on a slant board, this would be a lot more demanding. You can lower that down. If you're on a tall plate, you can get on a shorter plate. Again, you just need something short. You don't need anything too crazy tall. And that might help as well. So down and up, keeping that torso tall. After that, we're gonna go to a cable machine, and we're gonna use the chop. I've got that crazy neon strap with 2 handles. If you've got 1 handle, that's fine. Just keep that handle centered up in front of your chest. So wherever the anchor is, or whatever the handle is, we want that to be centered in the chest. This is nice because I can have this nice strap in the middle of my chest. We wanna step out from the cable so that we have some tension. So that when we turn back all the way, we don't want those plates to hit. We want everything to have tension. And then we're gonna rotate our whole torso, okay? So this strap is following my chest. I'm not pulling just my arms, and I'm not leaning over to the side. My center of gravity stays exactly in the center. And then I rotate. My inside foot can turn, and I'm turning with that hip, and my whole torso turns, and then I unwind, rotate, rotate. And you can see that band never leaves the center of my chest. And I'm turning with all these trunk muscles. We're gonna do 10 of those, and then we'll turn around and do 10 on the other side. Okay, one side's gonna feel a lot better than the other. Probably your right-handed swing is gonna be better if you're right-handed, your left-handed swing will be better if you're left-handed, and the other one will feel weird. So 10 to 12 here on the squats. Use your pace, and again, we're paying attention to being upright. Keep the chest up, drop the butt. And then we've got 10 each side here. We're gonna do 4 rounds of that. After this, rest for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then we're right back in it. Push that weight if you can. If everything feels good, go ahead and push it. If it's a struggle for you, you can either back off or drop the angle of that heel. 4 rounds, 10 to 12, 10 each side here. All right, so for our second set, we're gonna grab the TRX. We're gonna lean back here, be fully extended. We're gonna go a TRX row with one leg, not one hand, one leg. So first we're just gonna lift up, use your hips to drop back a little bit. So if you arch here, it's gonna get real easy to whip. I want us to drop the hip back a little bit, and we're just gonna row and let those shoulder blades back out. So it's a big shoulder blade ride around those rib cage. We want those shoulders to come back and forward. They don't go up and down at all. The harder, to make this more challenging, you'll sink into that squat just a little more. Try to drop that hip back and down. You're gonna feel yourself wobble side to side. So there's a lot of hip stability in this. There's a lot of core stability in this, plus the row action. So we'll do 8 on the left, 8 on the right. Then we're gonna go into either a push-up or a dive bomber push-up. We're doing a lot of different things here depending upon folks' ability. If you're able to do these push-ups, go for these dive bombers I'm about to show you. If you can't, we can work on just regular push-ups, elevated, so bring your body up. The more upright you come, the easier it's gonna be. So find somewhere in the 45 to be in the middle. That's probably good for most beginners. And then work your way down towards the ground using a box or a lower bar. Okay? Or push-ups aren't challenging for you. We're gonna do what's called a dive bomber, where we'll push back into down dog, and then we're gonna dive our chest forward, keeping that spine straight, and then sweep up, and then come to an up dog position, push back into that down dog, dive bomb, scraping the chest on the floor, come up, push back, okay? We'll do 8 to 10 of those. Again, if that's too much, just go for a regular push-up, concentrate on pulling yourself down, whatever type you're doing, make sure those shoulder blades right around that rib cage. 8 to 10 reps, 8 on each side of the TRX. And the last one, you can find a wall. This can be a kettlebell in your hands, it can be a dumbbell, it can be a med ball. The important thing is that our chest turns and not our arms. So we're in a split stance. My back foot is pushing through the wall. My front leg is directly under the hip. I start here directly below my chest. My spine is tall. I don't want to hunch over like this. I want to get that spine nice and tall, driving the feet into whatever they're touching. I turn to the right and then sweep all the way to the left. Notice how it's my chest that turns. I'm not just swinging the arms. And I don't want to come out and pause in the middle and go out. I want to swing all the way through and all the way through. It's very challenging. You'll feel your balance shift a lot, so you'll feel that transverse plane. There should be that frontal plane kind of sweep through the pressure. The left side, the right side, and then right back through. We want to make sure that we're not out of control. We're always controlling the swing. We'll do 8 passes on each side. So we're going to go, every time it passes your leg, 1, this sounds a lot harder for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll switch sides. Again, 8 on each side. We'll run through that circuit 4 times with the rows, the push-ups, dive bomber, or just regular, and then 8 passes on each side. Okay, so we have a set of 8 on each leg here on the TRX. We have 1 set of 8 on the push-ups, and then we've got each leg set of 8 there. So 8, 8, 8 on everything. We're going to do 4 total rounds. I've got a hero board here. There's a lot of little sliders that you can do. If you've got like a plate or one of the like regular sliders on a turf, you can use this as well. I like this because it provides the minimal resistance as far as the roll, because just our position is going to provide as much resistance as we need. The trick here is allowing your weight to get into the side that's going to slide, so the active side. So the side that my board is on here, if I had a slider, the leg that my slider's on, I've got my stick here as my safety valve. This is not to assist me, this is for my safety valve. So I've got my weight and I'm gonna slide out. I'm gonna get a big stretch here in the groin. I got my pelvis neutral, so my abs are engaged. I'm at my limit, so now I'm gonna pull everything back together. So I've got both legs that are pulling together from the adductors in the inside of the legs. Okay? I come out, I control it, and then I pull back in. Now the stick, what it's here for, just in case I get out here and I'm like, oh no, that's too far, I have the stick.
to push up on. I don't want to sit here and lean on the stick and just do this. I could do this all day. See, the other trick I just did where I can bend this knee, and I can sit here all day and do this and not feel anything. You will know it when you do this right. Slide out, there's a massive contraction here, okay? And then we pull back together. We're gonna do 8 on each side. So we'll do 8 that way, and then you literally just turn around, put your other foot on, and again, it's trusting your weight in this leg. Don't hang out over here, no matter whether you have a roller or whether you have just a glider or a plate on turf. After that, we're gonna have just a regular bench. One foot's up on the bench. We jump up as high as we can by extending this leg, and we're gonna switch our feet. So we go up, and we switch feet. This foot's gonna stay up here. I'm gonna switch back, up, and I'm gonna go up. Notice how my hands go with my body. Now, we've got the pattern. Do a few sets, or excuse me, do a few reps till you feel that pattern, and then we're gonna add some speed to it. So we're gonna go up, 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 up. Okay? If that's too much, we can step up and just do this. If it bothers your knees, try to sink into that glute a little more, drive through that heel, and we can kind of ease our knees into this by driving a little more, biasing that heel from the toes. If we get into our toes, we're going to go faster, but again, the trade-off is going to be more stress on the knee, and if that bothers us, slow it down, pull back into the heel a little bit, and just go at that slower pace. Trust me, your heart rate will still get up. The last move that we're going to do, we're going to be down in a half kneeling position. This time the knee will actually be on the ground. We're going to get into a slight stretch. I'm going to lean my weight forward. I don't want to get back here loading into this knee. I want to actually keep it even here. I'm going to drop my kettlebell down, reach up. Drop my kettlebell down, bring it up, and then I'm reaching. Not only am I reaching up this way, I'm going to reach out in front of me. And that's going to give you a big stretch down in here. Reach, rotate, come back down. Rotate, come back down. So we're getting a good stretch in the front of the body and the core and the leg. I'm also getting some good transverse abdominal work, and I'm keeping this whole lower body still while I turn, and we're gonna do, this is gonna blow your mind, but 8 on each side. So I've got 8 here. Going out each rep, nice slow and controlled, keep that body centered, trust yourself with that leg that's doing the work that's on the slider. Go out, come back in. I've got 8 each side here. That's 16 total for your math majors. Again, if we're in our toe, we're gonna go faster and be more explosive. That might bother our knee some. If so, shift that weight back into the heel a little more, take that speed way down, and do what we can. After that, I'm in a half kneeling position, getting that stretch on the front leg, reach up and around, pull back down. This is a movement. We're not trying to just sling it up there. It's a big movement. 8 on each side. We got 4 rounds.